Hi, it's Julia Cook, and today, Thursday, we are going to celebrate Autism Awareness Day. Now, this is one of my very favorite topics to talk about. Look at a snowflake. I just made this snowflake out of paper, so it's not a real snowflake, of course, but if you take all the snowflakes that you can collect and you look at them, they're all different. They're all unique. You see, we're all uniquely wired, and we all see things a different way. So today we're going to read Uniquely Wired and talk about the differences of the way people see the world. Now, let me show you this really fast. This is really cute. This is from Rorschach's ink test. Now check this out. This is just something to think about. Some people see two religious figures praying. Some people see like the top of the Bolshoi or a spaceship taking off. When I looked at that, I looked at two little dogs kissing noses. We all see things a different way because we're all wired differently. So this book, the purpose of this book, Uniquely Wired, is to show kids and show grown-ups how kids who have autism might see the world a little bit differently than the rest of us. Oh, you know what? Let's tune over here for a minute because Kirby Derby Doodle wants to say hi too. She views the world differently because she views the world from a height of about 4 inches off the ground. So she thinks feet are about the coolest thing ever. She doesn't see faces that much, but she sure sees feet. All right, now let's switch to this book and let's get going. Here we go. Uniquely Wired. I'm going to make it bigger. There we go. I am Zack. I have autism. Some people say that I have a disability. I don't see it that way at all. I am uniquely wired. I don't see the world the way most people do. I have an incredible brain and I have lots of gifts to share. My memory is amazing when it comes to things that I'm interested in. I used to be into trains. I mean, really into trains. It's like I had train brain. I could tell you anything and everything about trains. A few years ago, I grew out of trains. Now I'm into watches. I mean, really into watches. I currently own 379 of them. I can remember everything I ever learned about watches. When I look at a watch, I totally get lost. I love to see the hands move. I always know what time it is. I love to see the gears turn. I love to see the numbers. I love to hear my watches tick. I could be with my watches for hours and lose all track of time. Hey, that's funny. When it comes to my watches, I hold them, listen to them, smell them, and if I could, I would eat them. When I go to bed at night, my watches go to bed with me. Sometimes I don't sleep, neither do they. If you ever want to teach me something, try doing it from a watch's point of view. Then I might just understand. Zack, if a watch falls to the ground, it might break. Then it won't be able to move because its insides will be broken. If you don't wear your seatbelt in the car and we get in an accident, your insides might get broken and then you won't be able to move. You might get tired of listening to me tell you about watches, but I will never, ever get tired about talking about them. is not fair. How come Zack can take his watches to bed with him, but I can't take my toys to bed with me? Because Zack's watches help him feel comfortable enough to fall asleep. Your toys might keep you awake because you'll want to stay up and play with them. Because of Zack, I've learned that fair doesn't always mean equal, and that's okay. Thank you, Zack, for sharing your gifts with me. Most of the time, I like doing things all by myself. I really don't like to talk to other people, especially people I don't know very well. I have my very own personal space bubble, and I get to decide who I let in my bubble and when. Once in a while, my teachers have to remind me that other people have bubbles too. Oops. I don't like hugs very much, but my mom gives them to me anyway. She says I'm like hugging a prickly pear cactus. Sometimes I hug people at the wrong time. I just can't seem to figure out the hug thing. I have a hard time figuring out what you're thinking and feeling when I look at you, but that's okay. You can look at me and learn how I think and feel. And I have a hard time looking at you when you talk to me. When I try to do that, too much information goes into my head all at once, and it makes me feel uncomfortable. It's because you talk with your eyes. I'm not being rude when I look away. I'm just trying to protect myself. I see and hear the world a little bit differently than you do. My eyes and ears are really powerful, like a superhero. When I look at something, I see all of it all at once really fast, and I can't stop it. My brain gets flooded. Too much information goes into my head at one time. That's why I have to look away. Sometimes it's just easier for me to smell things than it is to look at them. I like to smell just about everything I touch. I don't like a lot of noise. It totally freaks me out. When I hear a noise, I hear all of it all at once really fast, and I can't stop it. My brain gets flooded. I like to wear headphones, and that makes the sounds a lot softer. But when I make noises, and they're loud noises, it doesn't bug me at all. Hey, that's funny. Zack has the ability to teach us that every person sees and hears the world differently, and that's okay. Thank you, Zack, for sharing your gifts with us. Sometimes I flap my arms and my hands really fast. I love the way the air feels against my skin. Whenever I get excited, upset, bored, or anxious, I flap. Helps me calm my brain down and organize what I'm thinking. When I flap, you might think I look weird, but it's just my brain thinking on the outside of my body. As soon as I feel organized, I stop. You should try it sometime. It really works. And my teacher says it's great exercise. Because of Zack, we're able to feel the air against our skin, organize our brains, and get some really great exercise. Thank you, Zack, for sharing your gifts with us. I'm a spinner. I love to watch things go around and around. I spin toys. I spin wheels. I try to spin everything that I can hold on to. And I love to spin me. The faster I go on the outside, the quieter I feel on the inside. When I spin, I can feel the world. You should try it sometime. It really works. Because of Zack, we're able to see that when the world around us is spinning out of control, we sometimes need to start spinning with it. Thank you, Zack, for sharing your gifts with us. It's really hard for my brain to come up with my own words to say, so sometimes I just borrow words from other people, you included. I love to hear myself talk, but once in a while, the words get stuck in my brain, and then I say them over and over and over again. It's fun for me to predict what's going to come out of my mouth. I'm kind of like a word copy machine. If I like the way something sounds, and I can make a lot of copies. Grandpa has stinky breath. Grandpa has stinky breath. Grandpa has stinky breath. Since Zack likes to borrow words from others, he helps all of us become more mindful of what we say. Thank you, Zack, for sharing your gifts with us and making us laugh. In some ways, I'm different than you are, but in a lot of ways, we're the same. I feel bad when other kids are mean to me, just like you do. I feel alone when other kids don't include me, just like you do. I feel hungry and tired and hurt and sad and yucky, just like you do. It's just harder for me to talk about it. I embarrass my big sister when I laugh at the wrong things and she thinks I act strange around her friends. I don't mean to. I'm just being me. Everything I do and say has a purpose. Might not make sense to you, but to me, it makes perfect sense. It's my normal. Zack has taught me to accept the fact that everybody's wired differently, and that's okay. Thank you, Zack, for sharing your gifts with me. My little sisters get jealous, and they feel left out because sometimes I get a whole lot more attention from my parents than they do. I don't learn from watching other people. I mostly learn from things that people teach me. I'm a black and white thinker. To me, there is no gray in life. So please don't expect me to be able to read between the lines. My brain is very crowded and busy, so it takes a lot of patience, repetition, practice, and hard work to teach me new stuff. I'm super smart in some areas, but I struggle with the little things in life, like getting dressed. Mom and Dad have to spend a lot more time with me than my sisters. Sometimes I just wear them out. Zack has taught us how to be more independent. He's also helped us become more patient. Because of Zack, we're better at sharing and making compromises. Thank you, Zack, for sharing your gifts with us. I'm Zack, and I have autism. Some people say I have a disability. I don't see it that way at all. I am uniquely wired. I don't see the world the way most people do. I have an incredible brain and have lots of gifts to share with you and everybody else. That's our story for today. It's called Uniquely Wired because we all are uniquely wired. But some kids have these tremendous abilities and gifts that when we tap into, just blows our mind. They can hyper focus on things and not be distracted by other things. We have so many people in our world that have done amazingly great things that have autism. You should Google it. People with autism that are famous. Oh my gosh, you cannot believe how many amazing things have happened in our world from people that are on the autism spectrum. Today we celebrate Uniquely Wired. We celebrate differences in all of us. And we come together as a team and work hard to figure out what's going on in the world. Now, tune in tomorrow at 9 a.m. because we're going to talk about the Great Compromise on Bookends for the Friday. And then also, if you would like a signed copy of this to you from me, you can get it on my website at juliacookonline.com, and I'll personally sign and autograph each book. Can't wait to see you tomorrow. Let's see. Let's grab the derbs. Say, bye, Kirby Derby Doodle. See you tomorrow. Thanks, guys. Love you.